this has been one of those situations, and when we think about New York Giants, we think about times that they might rally and get back to, but
My stream, I'm live.
this is
We're going live now.
this is definitely one of those situations where the New York Giants didn't disappoint by disappointing. What do you think, son?
The Giants don't even know how to lose right. There's so much that I want to talk about. I went down another friggin' rabbit hole, and my mom and I were talking about certain players that were former Giants that are doing very well in other teams. We don't need to talk about my mom's former nephew. We're not going to go there. I'm not going to do my mom like that. I will talk about. Let's talk about Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney has more interceptions. He has 6 total right now. He has more interceptions than our entire DB roster. That's safeties, corners, everything. He has 6. Our Giants defense has 1 interception. Okay? He leads the NFL in interceptions right now at 6. I believe he's tied for first with somebody else. So we screwed up with Xavier McKinney. We had a financial issue that dates all the way back to Dave Gettleman era. And we don't pay him, but we instead pay Daniel Jones. So that's one person. Another person, Julian Love. He has more tackles than any DB on the New York Giants roster right now. And he is a run-first safety. He's a run defense, like run support safety. He has 65 currently. There are players on the Giants roster right now who are projected to get 65 tackles at the end of the season. He has 65 right now. Our highest on our team is at like 43. And I don't even think they're playing right now. I can't. It gets worse when you go down the line. Up until the end of the third quarter, this is what happened. Daniel Jones had 71 passing yards. Tyron Tracy Jr. had more yards than him rushing, and he had a touchdown, while Daniel Jones just had an interception. Daniel Jones has once again finished the game with less than 200 passing yards and 2 interceptions and less than 2 touchdowns. He can't ever get 200 passing yards, 2 or more touchdowns, and no interceptions. He just can't do it.
No.
And why is it that he is allowed to still play? The commentators even tried to hint. They were trying to see if they could change the narrative. Will the Giants come out with Daniel Jones in the second half? We'll find out. And it's just like, we've been wondering that for the last 6 years. Like, they're never going to get rid of him. They're just going to keep putting him out there. And we're going to have to be forced to watch it. Every time he threw an interception or there was a turnover or a bad play, they immediately went to the run game, did a couple run plays in a row. Then if they did a pass, it was less than 10 yards. It's like they're scared to go down the field. And then when we go down the field, it works only in 2-minute warning, or 2-minute drill rather. It only has ever worked in 2-minute drill because the defense has less time to prepare their defense because they're doing no huddle offense. You got the crowd screaming. The team on the other side is already prepared for 2-minute drill while you just have to react. It's always going to be harder for a defense. But we still couldn't do it. And you know what? I'm not mad that we couldn't do it because I wanted us to lose this game so we could be in the runnings for a better draft pick because there's some good quarterbacks in this draft. And the Giants need to start looking for a quarterback, and they need to start doing it and not trying to treat it like it's fantasy football like they did in Hard Knocks, which, by the way, we can still see that unfolding in front of us. Burns went out with an injury. He came back, but he's banged up. That's somebody that we got to replace, the void of Saquon and Xavier McKinney and others. We were trying to get other stars to replace them. We tried to get stars to replace stars. It was a terrible decision. So let me go down the line. Devin Singletary by the end of the third had 18 rushing yards, and he's wearing number 26, and you have number 26 riding the friggin' bench. So that's what you want the number 26 to represent. He went from being the face of the franchise to riding the bench and coming in sporadically to get 5 to 6, 8-yard plays, if that. Devin Singletary is bad. I'm sorry. He's not good for the Giants. Put him on a different team, he'll be better. You can't. This is actual proof right now that Saquon was the only running back, or someone like a Derrick Henry type person would be the only type of running backs that could handle a bad offensive line like that. Because you put another professional running back that had over 1,000 yards in that position, and look at him. He's riding the bench. It's not because he's bad. He had like 1,100 plus rushing yards last season, something like that. He's not bad. He's bad for the Giants. This is proof that having a bottom 5, bottom 3 offensive line, it's proof right there. You don't have a line, you don't have an offense. The only reason we had some sort of offense was Saquon Barkley, and he's gone over to the enemy. He's second in the league in rushing. Shocker. Up until this game, he had the same amount of touchdowns as Daniel Jones. The same as a running back. It's a quarterback's league, and he was tied with Daniel. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He was leading Daniel Jones in touchdowns, if you include his receiving touchdowns. Daniel Jones tied it today, and it's just I can't. He tied it with a rushing touchdown, not even a passing touchdown. So I just, you can't make it up. It gets worse. Jalen Hyatt, 1 target for 19 yards. Why are we not using him? Dayball, what are you doing? Wando Robinson at one point had 4 catches for 28 yards, and that was our high by the end of the third. That was our high in terms of passing yards, or receiving yards, excuse me. We can't throw. We can't do anything. The only thing we can do is run. Tyrone Tracy was running for his life today. We got a lot of yards. I'm actually very happy. He fumbled at the end. He fumbled it. But you know what? When you have to be in a situation in overtime and the running back fumbles it, and the way he fumbled it, that's a reflection of coaching and lack of discipline by the player. Why are you holding it with one hand? And you're not even holding it high and tight. He had it down by his waist.
Not at all. No.
What was he doing? What was he doing?
I don't know.
And there were 4 Panthers jerseys around him.
The Tracy fumble in that situation, it helped us get closer to the one of the top 3 draft picks that we keep saying we want, so we can continue losing. So I'm mad. We're mad but happy. It's a weird feeling. We do have some folks in the chat. We've got Michael Holmes is back this week, and Payo time. Payo,
hey Michael, hey Payo, how you doing, man?
Payo says he's stuck in an airport on a flight delay and watched the whole game, and it made his flight delay feel more delayed, which is hysterical. Michael, my favorite of the posts today so far in chat, Michael Holmes, the Daniel Disaster. I love this name, Daniel Disaster. He says Daniel Disaster didn't disappoint. You know what? That's a lot of D's. Quad D. We have to come up with something. We have to come up with some sort of easy way to say that. I love that. He never disappoints. This is the first time he said in his life he wanted the Giants to lose. Exactly. We just want them to lose. They did a great job, but they put us through torture. The long, drawn out loss. Just lose, dude. Lose in 4. Lose in 4. We don't need you to go into the dramatic overtime to try to win it out of, just pull it out of thin air. No, right. We don't need you to do that. Not at this juncture. At this juncture. We need you to just keep losing. Number 1, this is the biggest thing. If you keep losing, then they keep looking. Hopefully somebody with some sort of authority will look at Daniel Jones more sideways. If they're not doing it now, I don't know what's going to happen. But every time he runs one in himself or does something, that it's like he's giving himself a little bit more time, and we don't need that. We don't need that.
No.
Michael Holmes also says he was happy. He's happy to see us, and tell us to enjoy our day. And he says to rebuild the whole org, which of course we've all been saying that they need to rebuild the whole thing from top to bottom,
absolutely, especially
from top. Okay.
Yes.
Including people who are the trainers and whatnot. I have something to say about training, because some of these guys are too small that I believe that are out there right now playing for us, and they're getting thrown like rag dolls. And oh, thanks. Peo said the best part of Giants football is the mother and son post game. Thanks,
Thank you,
Peo.
Peo. I have
That's
some
awesome.
I have some things to point out because Daniel Jones got a lot of they kept trying to give him praise. They always try to give him praise. I know you caught it in the first quarter. They were like, Daniel Jones is doing a good job. And I'm just like, is he? And I'm looking at the stats and he had like 60 yards when they said that. And it was already the second quarter. And I'm just like, what do you mean he's doing a good job? They're like, he gets down the field and he just can't finish. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you can't blame the offensive line today. They allowed only 2 sacks. 2 sacks today. That's it. And I don't understand how we lead with time of possession, but we were always down. We were down by 10 points. Once again, we were down 2 or more scores, but we led in time of possession by 3 or 4 plus minutes. Like it's insane. How do we have the ball for longer than the other team, but we're losing and we're down? That equation shouldn't be possible. You shouldn't have the ball longer than the other offense and be losing. It's because we drive it all the way down the field, and then we try to settle for a field goal or there's a turnover. It's always turnovers. I can't. The Panthers, you want to know? The Panthers had 8 penalties for 77 yards. By the way, at the time they were leading in the third, by 10 points, they had 8 penalties for 77 yards, and they had less time of possession, and they still were beating us by 10 points. Mom, does that make any sense?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was a messy sort of game. And weird stuff. Like I don't know what would possess any member of the Giants team to be making arrogant statements on the field, doing different gestures. Like, you guys have one of the worst records in the league right now. Really? Really?
Right.
You're taunting on the field. Why? And they didn't have it. I believe that was at a point where they had no points.
You can't make it up. You can't make
it up. You can't make it up. But and then we another game where we either we head into halftime really really far behind or with 0 points. And it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I feel like I say this every show. I feel like I say this every time, but it's true. And what I'm seeing, especially with our rookies, is that they're getting banged up. It feels like in every quarter, every other play, every game. And people. Tracy is great, but he probably could get some muscle weight on. Malik Neighbors, I want him to gain 20 lean muscle pounds. He seems a little flimsy out there, and I know it will mess with, if he does it right, it won't mess with his speed too bad. He just needs to just a little bit more. He just seems too small.
Well, don't forget, he's the only weapon that we have that's an actual true threat. Wan'Dale Robinson is a second option. He's not a number one. You need someone that that they're good enough where you could take away some of the pressure from Malik Neighbors, even if it's someone like Saquon Barkley at the running back position that we could have had. We could have had Neighbors and Saquon there together. They could have figured it out.
They probably could have.
But they wanted to bring in all these other players who get banged up. We don't have Kayvon out there. Kayvon is missed.
Oh, yeah.
Not having him out there, Dexter Lawrence isn't able to get to the quarterback as easily. Because Burns is not enough. Ojulari is not enough. They're great. Don't get me wrong. They're good.
These guys are getting banged up too. Dexter Lawrence was doing something like this after he got back onto the sidelines, and it was like he made like that wincing face. I'm not too sure that he's 100%. Maybe he jammed, grabbing somebody. Maybe he jammed himself up a little bit. But these guys are getting really banged up, and it's almost, they're getting banged up for nothing at this point, right? I mean, come on. I mean, it's not like they're getting banged up so that they can see themselves in the playoffs. That's not happening, And, speaking of, and I hate to rhyme with, but Gano, I don't think he should have come back. I think they should have just kept him out the rest of the season. I
Yeah.
mean, I know. I mean, I'm saying that as a layperson, as someone who's not in the front office, who doesn't work for a team. But did he need to be out there? I thought he had another season in the injury. I really did. And I guess he was better over the last 2 weeks, and then they activated him over the last few days. He was better. I would hope that was the case. But he didn't miss he missed a crucial kick. And isn't that that was a 3-point kick. We needed 3 points to win. We probably wouldn't have needed to go into overtime had he made that kick. I think I have that right.
You have that correct. Yes. I was
Yeah.
talking about that with one of my friends when we were watching the game. He was saying, wow, if Gano didn't miss that kick earlier, this would just be to win the game and not be to go to overtime. I was like, yep, pretty much. But that's the story of the New York Giants. The Giants don't know how to win. The same
The
way
other kicker had just started warming up for us, though. He had just started doing, because he came out real cold when we first put him in.
They don't want him out there, Mom.
Huh?
They don't want him out there. They want Gano out there. They don't want him out there. That's supposed to be a last resort. Gano is not healthy. As soon as they even had a hint that he was healthy, they said, get your behind back out there, please. So he went out there. And clearly he's not 100% because he missed at the same yardage that he just made it to tie it to go to overtime.
Yeah.
And which I'm glad he made it when it mattered.
He's actually, he's not as accurate as some of the other kickers, like your Tuckers and your Tuckers and your Buckers. Hey, another rhyme.
Well, Gano's a little old,
huh?
Isn't he a little old, respectfully?
Justin Tucker?
No, Gano.
Gano, oh no, Gano he's a little bit seasoned. He's seasoned. But he's pretty accurate. He's actually been a reliable kicker for us. Besides when he's gotten hurt and he's come back and things like that, and he kind of was cold, coming back. But he's been pretty reliable. I mean,
he's 37.
You would have, yeah, he's seasoned.
And Tucker's 34, so he's got 3 more years on.
But Tucker is he is a pretty reliable. He had he did okay. He had an issue last game. He had an issue for his team for the Ravens, but I would say he's been reliable. He was not today. I was questioning whether, and then all of his kicks they're not going straight through in the middle, down the middle. I mean, it's like I'm watching and everything is like veering off to one thing. Oh, and then you can't at home. We can't tell if it really like
sometimes the angle you're like, wait, what even just happened? Sometimes, but
hopefully part of the drafting will be I never look at kickers when I'm with a little bit of college ball that I watch. I never pay attention to kickers, but probably many people don't. But we probably need to get a nice youthful kicker come draft time as well.
I mean, yeah, they'll probably end up doing that way after. They'll probably do that in preseason because you don't really have to get a kicker. That's like if you're so oversaturated in positions, that's when you're looking for a kicker. I feel like that's not a priority. They could look for a kicker. I agree with you. I think they should. But the priority, without a question, has to be a quarterback, some better offensive linemen, because they put Illuminor on the left side. They had Evan Neal on the right. It did work out, but they seem to always change up the line, which means clearly there's still some shenanigans going on. I think Andrew Thomas is out now, or has been out because of the foot issue or whatever it was. And it's just, you can never count on having the same offensive lineman out there. They got to find guys that want to play for the team, that can manage to stay healthy. Not saying Andrew Thomas doesn't want to play for the team, but we got to find people that want to be a Giant, because sometimes I feel like these guys don't want to play. And it could be a part because Daniel Jones is the quarterback still. Maybe people will play differently when Daniel Jones' era is over. We won't know until that happens.
The Daniel Jones era. Mr. Holmes says, not sure if the team wins another game this year, and they don't need to. They don't need to win another one. But he says what I say: bring Belichick in as a GM, pick a coach, and start drafting talent. And again, John Mara. It has been said that John Mara is close with Bill Belichick from his days when he was with the Giants way back in the day, and even when he was with the Patriots, they said John Mara still consulted with Belichick. That's what people say in the sports world, and that they have a good relationship. So that it could be possible. But I'm also hearing the same thing about him and Jerry Jones too. So who knows?
I feel like You already know how I feel about Bill Belichick. I don't like Bill Belichick, the
Yes.
GM. Bill Belichick, the head coach, would be nice. The GM, I don't know. But he certainly would be better than what we just had. I feel like anyone
Right.
could be better than Joe Shane.
Right.
Based on how we saw how he operated. If we didn't know how they did everything in the offseason with the Saquon situation and everyone else, I wouldn't be able to say that. But we were able to watch how he operated and what his decision making was based off of.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was questions. It wasn't decisions. It was, do we think we can get someone else? Let's look at the stats and look at what he did and pay him based off of that. It was, do we think anyone else can do better than that kind of thing? And it's like, what? That's not how you operate a team. It just, and look at how we turned out. Saquon's having the time of his life, probably chilling.
No, not probably. He's
He is.
having the time of his life. Do you know they tested him for
Yes,
steroids
it
or
makes sense.
something?
It makes
And he
sense.
was like, it's all good. He was, because he recognized what he did was crazy what he did last week.
Yeah,
He's had,
that was
and
wild.
that didn't bother him because if you didn't do anything, test me, do whatever. He knows he's just good. He's
athletic.
got that. He's athletic. And he's got a different spirit. He's got a different spirit. You know.
It's not fair. It's not.
Hey, Tracy did a little spinny move across the
It's not the same.
first down.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's totally not the same. And we don't. At this point, even thinking like, oh, spinny moves and hurtling over, that's nothing. We need to win.
We need to get some pass plays more than 15, 20 yards. I'm sorry, more than 10 yards. Because we're always making these 10-yard plays. Always. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these garbage play calls. We could have ran the ball instead of trying to go for that pass where we threw into another interception, the second interception in the fourth quarter. All we had to do was just run it. And at the worst case, you get 3 points. And then again, we wouldn't be trying to kick a field goal to tie it. We would have had more points. It would have been less than a 2-score game. They would have had probably the same outcome they did on that next drive where they screwed up and they gave us the ball back. And it would have been better for us. But no, they tried to pass it when they shouldn't have. We could have just ran it. It was like 2 and 5, 2nd and 5, or 2nd and 9 or something. I don't remember. It was something like that. Just run it. We had like 3 minutes left and some change, and we were in their own red zone. We could have just ran the ball another time. It's fine, but no, they wanted to try to pass it, try to catch them off guard, and DJ throws another pick. And just put in another quarterback. Why are we hanging on to Daniel Jones?
They can't help themselves when it comes to that. There's something else
They
that we
paid
don't know
him.
about. Yeah, because they paid him. But you know what? I think it's funny. New York sports media, particularly New York Post, they had on Friday, they said exclusive. Giants will start Tommy DeVito for Munich game on Sunday, right? And it was like a big thing. It was exclusive and whatnot. I think they were creating something that was not, just in hopes it would sway the the coaches and to be like, maybe what, you see that article in the New York Post? Maybe we should. I wasn't thinking, but maybe we should. I think they were hoping for something. They were hoping for that.
If they watch Hard Knocks, he said, Joe Shane said he doesn't pay attention to any of that.
It's true.
He said that. I don't pay attention to anything about sports.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious he doesn't, because look at how the team is run.
Yeah, exactly. I want to thank, we had 3 people, 3 of our viewers today have subscribed. Thank you. Don't forget to like and
thank you.
Like yes, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing. We always appreciate that. Welcome to the family. And definitely comment. We love your comments, so feel free
who's your team? Are you a Giants fan?
And we always want to hear from the opponent for the week. So Panthers fans, we want to hear from you. Carolina Panthers fans, please, if you're watching, please let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Even if you're watching this in replay, definitely put that in chat with us, and we always comment back. You see that we are very responsive.
Yeah.
One important aspect of watching these games as we go further into the season is that I feel like the mood on the sidelines, when they show the sidelines, even at the beginning of the game, it's weird. It's like somebody died. It's like a somber, and maybe they're being serious, right? But
Probably.
there's no hype. I don't think it's just, and we've talked about Daniel Jones not being a great leader, not the guy to lead people. He might be a nice guy, but he's not the guy to make you feel like you can do anything.
Exactly. He doesn't give you hope. He doesn't give you a sense of, oh, that's my leader. He's just a guy. Daniel Jones is just a guy. He's just there. He's a bum. Respectfully. No, you know what? No, disrespectfully, he's a bum. He doesn't deserve to be on the field. He should be somewhere making me a sandwich right now and bringing it over to me through DoorDash. He does not deserve to be on the NFL field. He should not be there. The guy stares down his primary route when it's not open, not if. When it's not open, he goes to the check down, and he can't even throw it to the check down right sometimes. He'll overthrow it. He'll throw it behind him. He threw the ball behind Theo Johnson, who actually was playing a decent game. He threw it behind him in double coverage. That should have been a pick if they played it properly. But he was playing against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And he still looked bad.
Yeah. We made the Panthers look fantastic today, It gave, you know what? I'm happy for the young brother, Bryce Young. He had a rough way to go earlier in the season, and this was his chance to come back and try to show that he can be the starting quarterback. I'm happy for the brother. If someone is going to win today against, I'm glad it was him, because some of the young brothers that have been at the QB posts for some of these teams haven't been given a lot of chances like someone else we know. Okay. They get passed around. They get benched. They get put on practice squad after being, the starter for a few games. I mean, it's weird stuff happens. And of course they get traded. And hopefully, some of those guys that got traded, to good places like Justin Fields and I'm hoping that he gets a better shot at some point, but he's in a good system now and somebody who I think will do something with him. But good for Bryce for having another shot and and winning the game and giving himself another week to play at the starter position. Yeah.
You got to take it with a grain of salt because he had 0 touchdowns and 9 interceptions against zone defense up until the Giants, and he scored his first touchdown against zone defense. That is how bad the Giants are in the secondary. Our secondary is atrocious. It is so bad without Julian Love and Xavier McKinney. There's no leadership. Dory Jackson's a shell of his former self because he's older. He's not even wearing the same freaking jersey. So he's not even the same with Dory Jackson. We're getting like the 45 version of Jordan, but I'm not saying he's Jordan. He's just a different he's just a different brand of himself, and it's not the same. And I don't know. It just is bad. Deonte Banks is declining. He's not looking good right now. I feel like the coaching everywhere across the board has declined, except for pass rush. That's about it. The run game is terrible. Our run defense is trash. They had almost 200 rushing yards.
Oh, my God.
We can't stop the run. The only thing we can do is pass rush. We lead the league in pass rush. We can't stop the run, and our secondary is atrocious. Defense is not that good. It just looks good because Dexter Lawrence gets sacks, does his little sexy Dexy dance. It looks good. But that's it.
Sexy Dexy. Oh, we have Ron Harris. He said, "Hi fam. Not mad. He says, get QB, start over next year, and fire Joe Shane and Daboll." See, everybody says the same thing. We are the broken record. They should, if they don't want to hear us saying any this anymore, they should do something about it.
Mr. John Mara, I won't be able to sleep at night if Saquon goes to the Eagles. Figure it out. Do something. I won't be able to sleep if Saquon goes to the Eagles.
What kind of sedatives do you think they're giving him now so he can sleep at night?
They must be giving him some sort of elephant tranquilizer or some correct crap. Because how can he sleep?
How could he sleep?
Saquon continues to succeed and be the topic across
I
the NFL.
hope. You know how this is a very old reference, but there used to be this reference that they would tell you to count sheep, and then in cartoons that I used to watch 5 million years ago, they used to literally show little sheep jumping over like clouds, well, as a sort of a metaphor for counting sheep. This is what Maris counted to go to sleep, counting Saquon hurtling over defenders. Just little Saquons, just go over another little defender. He hurdles over the defender.
Oh my God. And you know what? I'm glad that we were able to see all of the Hard Knock stuff. I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad we got to see it all because this all is held against them. Only people that can be held accountable is the front office. You can't say it's the players. Yep. The only person you really could blame out of players is Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because he's been there for 6 years and hasn't changed a thing about his game, has not improved at all. He's actually only declined. If you look at the stats, there's not much improvement. He only continues to turn the ball over. It's just no longer as many fumbles. He still fumbles it, but he throws interceptions more. A lot more.
He throws interceptions. He gives himself more life by running it in himself every so often, getting 20 yards here and there, running it himself because he doesn't see. As I watch other teams and I watch really dynamic, amazing quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, like Patrick Mahomes, and you see how when they have more than one move, they don't just look left, can't find anybody, and then keep it going left. They're like this and like that, and then he said, oh, find somebody. Daniel Jones, I made sure I focused on this today. He decides whatever they tell him the play call is, he goes to that. He looks left or whatever, looks right, whatever it is, and he sticks with that. And I'm, what do they call an armchair quarterback at home? I'm like, over on the other side, look, he's open over there. But he's still looking. He
looks the primary route. He looks the first route that he's supposed to throw to. And I hate that because that's so robotic. He's like, oh, I have to check the primary route. And he just stares it down. But then other quarterbacks, they do this. They're checking everything because you don't know what's on your backside until you check. So they check rook. They do their first read, which is the first route. If it's not open, the split second that they look, they immediately start looking to the other side to see what's open. They might see something and go bang right there, down, right and over the middle, and it happens. Bryce Young did it today. How about
that?
A quarterback that's been struggling, has less experience than Daniel Jones, is doing it better than Daniel Jones.
How about that?
I don't know what else to say to paint the picture that Daniel Jones has to go. I'm running out of ways to analyze this guy and tell you how bad he is. That shouldn't happen.
Roscoe Dash, thank you. Roscoe, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe today. He says, keep pounding. Yes. With the muscle arm, whatever you call it.
We'll keep tanking. We'll just just trend downward and continue, and we'll actually be trending upward in morale. I'm not lying because we need draft picks. We need them. We need to bring in the Avengers and the Justice League. We need to bring them both in. We need everybody. So yeah, I'm done. I can't. I'm tired of saying this. I'm tired of watching Daniel Jones. I'm tired of saying that. Can we please spare me and other fans like me? I'm sure my mom doesn't want to watch him anymore. Can we try to give someone else a shot? Just humor us.
Well, when I heard them, when I saw all of the sports reporters Thursday and Friday all talking about Tommy DeVito, first thing I said was, what about Drew Lock? But I think they were baiting the Giants to make the decision to bring somebody else other than Jones in. But at the same time, it's like, Do I really want to see Jones out there? Even though I don't really care to see Tommy DeVito, but if that's who they feel should go over Locke, then they should give. Why not? We literally have nothing to lose.
Nothing at all. I'm tired of seeing Daniel Jones have under 100 passing yards at halftime. I'm tired. Why am I watching a professional quarterback have under 100 passing yards? By the way, at that time there was only 1 sack allowed, so you can't blame the offensive line.
No, it definitely was better.
1 sack allowed at halftime to the whole game. What's the excuse this game? I don't know. Time of possession, we had more. We had the ball more. Someone needs to tell me what the excuse is this time, because these commentators are always trying to say Daniel Jones is doing a good job. How?
They find something pleasant to say, and they don't. And they're it's always a reach. It's a reach, and there's no reason to say those things, because it's all a reach. I don't.
I can't.
It's sickening.
I really can't.
It's all very, very, very sickening. So our next game is in 2 weeks. We have a bye week coming up, and it's definitely needed. The Giants players on both sides are banged up. They could use the time off, so that's fantastic. I'm glad they're going to have that bye week now. But after that, they play Tampa Bay.
Yeesh. We're gonna get clobbered.
Probably.
And you know what? It's fine.
Bye,
Jeff Bix,
Roscoe,
baby!
Bye, Roscoe Dash. Roscoe Dash.
Bye, Roscoe. Roscoe Dash.
Wait, Michael Holmes, leave the Giants in Germany. They need practice. Yo, first of all, let me just give shout out to the German fans. Yo, they're lit.
Yeah.
The German fans are lit, and they had some real cool Giants flair, like that NY light glow sign. I was, I like that sign. They had some good stuff. They probably had some good.
It was cool. It was cool.
Cool vendors out there selling some bootleg, not official Giant stuff, but it was cute. There was some nice stuff out there, really nice stuff. Fun fan wear, and those big, huge steins of beer. It looked like a great time.
Giant steins of beer. Holy crap. They like to
if you haven't been to Germany, which I haven't, but I know a bit about it, those were normal size. That's a stein. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They like to
yeah. So at least the fans that came out, whether they were from here, and most of them definitely were from there, they had a great time at the game today. Good for them. I certainly would not have been as festive here at the MetLife. Not the way they played today.
Would have been a lot of booing.
Would have been a lot of the customary booing that has been going on. So at least the team was able to enjoy a festive, mostly a crowd that was sort of like just happy to be there, because they weren't all real Giants fans or real Panthers fans. They're Germans mostly. They probably are really not following NFL, right? So
some people like the colors, and they're like, ooh.
Right. Yeah. So so it was a moment for them to enjoy a crowd that wasn't all against them. So that was cool for them, and I actually liked seeing the fans. That was more entertaining for me than the actual game itself. The game was stressful to watch as usual. So
I agree. I don't have anything else to add to that.
Well, I want to thank everybody who subscribed today. Quite a few of you did, and we appreciate that. We are always happy to add people to our family.
Yes.
And the Sun always says you should like, subscribe, and comment, and click the little bell, right?
Yes, I always do
all those things.
Please make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment. Share this video as well. Your comment could be as simple as saying that you're a Panthers fan, you're happy you won. We want to know who's who in here. We want to know if there's some Vikings fans still prowling around. We want to know if there's any Eagles fans, because some Eagles fans hop in here randomly for no reason, just to say you guys stink. Go Eagles. Jakes. So you're allowed to do that though. So it keeps it entertaining. So just please drop a comment. I don't care what the comment is, as long as it's about football. So with that being said, guys, we'll catch you guys. You said we have a bye week, and then we gotta play the Bucks.
Yep.
Well,
That's it.
maybe we'll release a short in that time frame. We'll
Oh,
think about it.
absolutely. And I want to invite everyone who watches this to, check out some of our other videos,
Yes.
because we do, we talk about the actual game, but we do pontificate about a lot of other important information related to the Giants that it's like general commentary about the New
Yep.
York Giants. And some of the Son's Stephen A. style rants are actually quite hysterical. You don't want to, if
The
you didn't catch
Cowboys
them
one is classic.
originally. Oh,
Yes.
the cow. Oh, he goes in on any of the
The one
Cowboys
that
ones.
starts
Yeah,
off Dave Gettleman, John Mara. That's a classic.
yeah. Go back.
That's a classic.
We definitely have some good, classics. So definitely go and watch some of those other replays. You'll enjoy it. And some of our we used to record this and edit it. Some of our for past season. We have some other really some really good ones out
The
there.
Kadarius
That
Toney reaction.
yes,
Classic.
yes.
Classic.
All
That's our best video. That has over 11,000 views. That's our best
yeah,
video.
the video, if you go to our channel, there's the one video we have to showcase our channel is from the draft when Kadarius Toney was drafted, and let's just say we lost it, and it is quite funny. So check that out. But we'll leave you, and if you are a veteran, want to say Happy Veterans Day to those of you who are acknowledging the veterans in your life and those who have served. Thank you so much. And if you have the day off,
Absolutely.
enjoy. And well, we'll see you next time on Family Bonding, the mother and son post game show, the first mother and son post game show. How about that?
Take care, everyone.
Bye. All right, it is over.